Welcome to your wall yin practice. So you'll need a good chunk of wall. I'd recommend a bolster or a blanket, something that will pad your knees, and then 2 blocks are always helpful. We're actually going to get started standing today. And you might face the wall, you can face away, whatever works for you. Give a little shake out so once you land, you're in a relative stance of ease. That might be a little bit wider so you feel stable. To soften your eyes closed. You might notice a little rock in your body, forward and back. Might purposefully take it a little side to side and find the place right in center where there's the least amount of effort to sustain this posture. No need to fix anything to change your posture, just arrive as you are. And notice how you do arrive. The grooves that your body carves within space, the subtle expansion and contraction of your breath that, now that you've brought your awareness to, might expand and grow a little further. After that initial observation, if you notice there's little adjustments that you can make to once more come into a posture of utmost ease. You might shift your hips over ankles, shoulders over hips, and ears over shoulders. And observe if your breath flows any freer in your body. The observation of your body, its holding patterns, and the way your breath flows might clue you into what's going on in your mental and emotional bodies. And if not, you might acknowledge now if there's any sticky thoughts that have your attention, and know that's okay. And through the next few moments that you're here in your practice, you have this time within space to either let those thoughts go, you can come back to them if you need, or allow this time to be a space to process those thoughts. And draw a deep breath in through your nose. An open mouth exhale, side out. And 2 more on your own. Feel your tongue heavy from the roof of your mouth, your jaw slack. 1 more inhale. And exhale, feel the weight travel down to your feet. And gently blink your eyes open. Make your way a little closer to the wall and take one hand at about a 90-degree angle onto the wall. So hand and forearm. And press yourself into the wall a little bit, then rotate your chest away from your arm. So you can stay in this shape. It's accessing a little more into the rotator cuff muscles as well as your pecs. But you can also extend your arm up a little further, straight back, and play around with where you feel the sensation. There's no right shape here. And once you've found that first place of stretch, so nothing that's too intense here, allow your breath to inform a little more sensation. You feel more spread across your collarbones and enhanced stretch with your inhale. And with your exhale, you might observe the ability to access more depth, although you don't have to take it. You might let your gaze go a little blurry here, and close your eyes altogether. In the initial parts of the practice, more purposeful breath can be helpful to continue to draw you into this moment. Notice any warmth, tingling. At any point, if you start to feel a sense of loss of sensation, a bit of numbness, or sparkly feeling, that's a great sign that you can either back off. If that doesn't ease the feeling, then come out of the posture altogether. Just means the work is done on this side. And take a few more cycles of breath. very slowly start to turn your torso towards the wall, feeling perhaps a dissipation of sensation or just a change of sensation. And allow your arm to hang by your side and perhaps reclose your eyes so you can observe perhaps a flush down your arm, a sense of blood moving to your fingertips, fluid moving through that whole area of the body and perhaps beyond. And as you transition over to the other side, you can meet it with fresh eyes. So it could be, again, that kind of cactus shape. It could be a little bit higher up, extended arms straight out to the side. And this side is allowed to have its own experience. Once you settle in, you'll gently turn your chest away from the wall to a comfortable amount where you get that little bit of tug. Every time you exhale, feel your bottom teeth separate from the top. The weight to go a little further down into your foundation. Few cycles of breath. Remember letting any sharpness, tingling, loss of sensation be the signal to guide you out of this shape. The nerve structure in this area tends towards shorter holds than through the legs. And on your exit, slowly unwind, allowing that slow release to give you more feedback about what change has occurred and what change is yet to come in that space. Allow your breath to move up into your chest, up into your upper back, and feel if there's any difference in the way your breath moves in that space. And continuing into the shoulders, and reach your hands towards the wall and start to walk your feet back, soft knees, a little downward facing dog. You might choose to take your forearms to the wall instead of your palms and release your head that way. It'll limit your range of motion, and that might be what your body needs. It's going to be a little bit of a different focus either way. And we're not going to be in this shape too long. Allow your breath to be very present in the areas that you notice sensation. Just enough effort to maintain contact and then nothing else. Just 5 cycles of breath. Might run your tongue along the fronts of your teeth to soften the muscles of your mouth. Very slowly, allow an exhale to gently pull your belly to your spine. A little strength to assist you out of this shape. 1 vertebra at a time. Walk your feet in a little bit so you can stand them firmly down. Lace your arms by your side and observe the ripple effects. Once more, you can notice that flush of fluid down to your fingers, perhaps across your upper back. But with this inversion, you might even notice flush of circulation towards your head. And if it feels a little more grounding, you might allow your gaze to rest on the floor rather than being eyes closed. And when you feel stabilized after that inversion, we will have another one here. So give yourself the space if you need a little more time to ground down. And move into a little forward fold using the wall as a support system. So it could be a pretty small forward fold here, just head, upper back against the wall. Notice if you're pulling back from it, allow your weight to lean into the wall. And generous bend in your knees is welcome if that feels better. And straight legs if that does. You can change the distance between yourself and the wall for a deeper forward fold the further forward you walk. The goal here isn't necessarily to go downwards, but see if you can lean forward. Arms in any configuration that feels like it's not a lot of excess effort. The tips of your fingers soft. Allow a deep inhale to span across your back, down through your legs. And the exhale to shift your weight further into the wall, letting its support give you ease. And find 3 more breaths with that purposeful, lengthening inhale and that softening, yielding exhale. Let this exit be very slow. You might start with your hands against the floor if they have contact there. Gently pour the weight back into your heels. You might rest your forearms on your thighs, kind of like a halfway lift shape. Or you can come down into a squat to keep your head at the same level. And nice and slow. Start to draw your head upright and honoring any sensation in the head that gives you that signal to pause, to ground, perhaps with open eyes. Perhaps there's a little warmth through the back line of your body. And see if you can trace it with your inhales and exhales. If you're in that squat, you're welcome to stay as you are or turn yourself around so you can use your back against the wall to give you more support in this stance. A block or 2 underneath of your seat will also give you a little bit more support. And support here isn't to mean less. It might actually mean more. An opportunity for your nervous system to feel like it can let go, to soften the muscle tissue, to access deeper connective tissue. And so more sensation here doesn't necessarily mean more effect. You might begin to channel your breath downwards, feeling the expansion move out from your chest and more down to your belly. Allowing your inhale to pour down and fill the basin of your pelvis. And exhale and anchor a weight, having your heels and hips towards the mat. Few more cycles of breath. Might think of your inhales moving down and stretching out through the inner thighs. And exhales gently wrapping from knees to outer hips and down through the block into the floor. Once you feel like you've felt the loop of breath from inner to outer thighs integrate into your body, slowly make your way out of this shape. Could be one palm at a time, shifting forward to a tabletop. Perhaps a little bit of movement calls to you after all that work. Could be some cat-cows to explore any difference in the way your spine moves, your shoulders feel. Or a simple seat to just notice the effects and the profoundness that stillness can offer you. Reach for a bolster or blanket and set it against the wall or close to the wall. This is where your knee is going to go. And knee goes on top of your padding. The closer your knee is to the wall, the more sensation you'll get in the quad, which again isn't always better. And step your other foot forward into a lunge shape. Blocks are great here to give yourself some support. If that feels really intense in knee, in hip flexor or quad, again, shift that whole shape forward. If you want more sensation there, you can walk your blocks back. Throughout the sustaining of a posture in yin, you might notice this point in the hold where there is a melting, an ability to access deeper layers. You have the choice to yield to that or stay right where you are, or even pull back. You'll actually continue to increase the amount of stress on your tissues, and that's a good stress, even if you stay in the same exact spot. Just adding time here continues to progress the amount of stress you're giving your tissues. Few more cycles of downward moving breath, and the downwards motion also reflecting in your jaw. And let your exit be similar to your entrance in that it is slow, it is mindful of the sensation as it continues to change on the way out and in the stillness that comes after. And after all that compression through your thigh, you might thread your leg through for an extended shape, giving your knee a little different position to observe the effects of the compression it experienced. And movement or stillness, whatever's calling to you. Just observe if you're making choices based on a particular thought. And if thought is guided by what you think is the right thing to do or a habit, then just take note, no need to judge it. And the other side is available when you'd like, and the position of your knee further or closer to the wall might be different on this side. And sometimes deeper looks different. Deeper might be sending your hips forward. Deeper could be pulling your hips back. And that means that backing away can also look different in this shape. Deep belly breaths. And just like in the spaces between, allowing a witness of your thoughts of when movement is calling you, why movement is calling you. The next few cycles of breath, just observe if you do have thoughts, urges, patterns that call you out of this shape or call you to fidget. Not to judge, not that there's anything wrong, but simply to know. Slowly ease out of your depth, whichever direction that means for you. You might release the other knee to the floor so you can slide your bent knee through and extend it. And notice the dissipation of sensation. Any grip that might start to dissipate as well if you noticed it back in your jaw, your eyebrows, temples. And allow your hips to go to one side, feet to the other to find a seat. And face toward your wall. Take the props off to the side. And scoot your hips close to the wall, not quite touching yet. And lower your back to the mat. And once you arrive on your back, just take a few moments to land there. New orientation. How does your body land in space? Does it feel similar, different to landing in a standing position, where you have complete non-resistance around your upper body, boundless space? And how does it feel now with the resistance of the floor below your back? Do you observe relaxation across your chest, the fronts of your shoulders, because of that stability, the support below you to relax into? Or does it feel similar? Observe if your breath flows more into the front part of your body because of the resistance below you. Or does it actually move into your back body more, utilizing the resistance to enhance the expansion through your back? Plant one foot on the wall and take the other ankle over your thigh for a figure 4. The farther away from the wall, the less sensation, less stretch. The further forward you wiggle, it's going to deepen the bend in your knee, the flexion of your hip. And Yin, we often advise to find the first point of stretch rather than the deepest, most intense sensation. And that's because time is one of the biggest factors we have here. And time increases that good stress into your tissues, increases perhaps the amount of sensation, amount of work that's happening in that area. So you don't necessarily need any force, just allow time to do the work. welcome to stay with this shape for a while longer. If you want to add a twist to this and shift your legs over to the left side if your right knee was in your figure four, or right side if your left knee was in figure four. Allowing to still have a little contact with the wall. Perhaps the other foot lands on the mat. As you continue to let your breath be a mode of release, you might notice that the form perhaps slides out of shape, or the initial shape you put it in. There is no alignment in yin, so if it continues to evolve into something that might not look like a pose that we're used to, just let it be. If you allowed your head to turn to one side, you might draw your nose back to the ceiling first. Notice if there's any difference in how the twist lands lower in your spine. Then allow both hips to rock back to the floor. You might plant both feet into the wall or slide them up long. Continue to feel the weight of your breath move down into your pelvis and down into the earth. You might observe one feels lighter or heavier than the other. When your time to find the other side, your ankle over thigh. Maybe you move a little further away or closer to. Look for a similar sensation as the other side and change the shape to meet that sensation. But know that it can always feel different. Perhaps it feels more like a dull ache. You might notice the feeling radiate a little bit more, a larger circle of sensation, or more centralized. See if you can find curiosity in the differences you find right to left. Few more deep breaths. And this hip has its own story, its own purpose throughout your life, so might need a little more attention or less. You feel ready for the twist if you'd like it on this side. Allow your legs to fall to the right if the left ankle is crossed. Again, you might notice that your legs want to slide out of this shape that you're in into something different. And consciously choose to stick with this if it feels relevant to you. A worthy resistance to work through, or yield to the melting of your body into a new form. The next 3 cycles of breath, move low and move into the torque of the twist. Allow your head to come back through center first, followed slowly by your hips. So you return with full contact of your back. Once more, the legs can slide up. And at this point, you might choose to wiggle your hips all the way up towards the wall so you feel the backs of your legs supported and the legs up the wall. Allowing the benefits of inversion to rest into your body here, aiding in the flow of your lymphatic system, letting it drain from feet downwards, reversing the effects of gravity. You might stay with this if it feels nourishing to your feet. If you want a little more inner thigh work, you can allow your legs to open up. That right away feels like a lot of sensation. Gravity is doing a lot of the work. You might choose to bring your feet back up again. This position has done its job for you. You found that moment of softening and trusting into the weight below you. And you use your hands on your outer thighs to gently guide your legs back up. This may be where you choose to round out your practice, back and legs up the wall. You could roll to one side and take Shavasana in a fetal pose, or come to child's, come to flat on your back. There's no wrong shape here. If there's any grip in your body, you might choose another shape. Utilize a few more conscious breaths, perhaps, and exhale through pursed lips like you're blowing out through a straw. To find ease through your facial muscles. Travels down through your upper body, lower body, to the very edges of your limbs. Every point of support that you have below you. Feel it, trust it, and fall into it. Welcome as you are for as long as you'd like. When you're ready to come out, you might start with little bits of movement, deepened breath, and eventually allow yourself to roll to one side. Give yourself a few more breaths in that shape to reorient yourself. Gently, with one palm at a time, press yourself up and might line your back with the wall so you're in a supported seated stance. Allowing another opportunity to examine with soft, non-critical eyes how you take up space. Resistance behind you. Little spaces between you and the wall and all around your front. How your breath moves there. How your thoughts, your emotions run through your body and manifest. And all that's present for you, you have that to take with you or to leave behind. Join your hands to heart center. Give yourself a nod of gratitude for carving out this space to be still, to reflect. Deep breath in. Exhale out. I bow to you in gratitude.